Welcome back to the Irish Bandit Revolution channel. I hope everyone is doing great. I am back after a little bit of a break. I'm feeling pretty well, so we're going to start doing videos again. It's going to be a good time. I'm your host, the one, the only, the second Irish Bandit. Now, if you've been on my channel for any length of time during the past few months, you know one of the games that I've absolutely been loving since playing it last year has been the indie darling game Doki Doki Literature Club. Now, there's only so much you can do with that game when you talk about the base game. But there's been a wonderful community that has popped up since this game came out. And since the game itself is run on RenPy and Python packets, it's very easy to mod this game if you know what you're doing. If you're an idiot like me and don't know what the hell they're doing, you're probably not going to build the greatest mod. But a great modding community has popped up from this game and has made some doozies when it comes to mods of the game. So we're talking about them today, the 5 that I have played that I've absolutely loved. These are my 5 favorite mods to come out for Doki Doki Literature Club. And before we get into that, let's talk about a couple that didn't quite make the cut. They didn't quite crack the top 5, but are still wonderful games that you should play if you're a fan of this game. The first one we're going to talk about is Fallen Angel. So just right off the bat, a lot of these, you're not going to hear me call them the full name of like Doki Doki, blah, 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 blah. It's just easier to call them by their mod name. So we're going to keep going with that. So we're going to talk about Fallen Angel here in the honorable mentions. And this is a Yuri-based game that kind of retells the story of the original. Like, it starts at the very beginning when Sayori brings you to the literature club and goes through this whole time with everyone in the club, interacting with them, mainly with Yuri, because the main character of the game just has his sights set on her from the very beginning. And unlike the base game, where you can choose which route you want to go on, ultimately it doesn't matter when you play the full game, but the main character is solely focused on Yuri at this point and follows a progression with her that is just beautiful, eye-opening, heart-wrenching, and very, very bittersweet. Now, there are things that I absolutely loved about this game. I did a full Reddit write-up about what I loved about the game. For the most part, I love the characters. Sayori still felt like Sayori. Yuri still felt like Yuri. Natsuki still felt like Natsuki. We're going to get who I didn't feel like was their original character in a bit here. But I thought the story was fantastic. Some of the things I didn't like about it are some things that I haven't liked about some of the games that I'm going to be talking about here soon. It almost seems like they follow a progression, like a boom, boom, boom. You have to meet these certain beats, boom, boom, boom. It's like story of the base game. Something tragic happens. The main character sleeps with the intended character of this game, be it Sayori, Natsuki, Yuri, whoever. I don't really dig that. And the one thing that I did not like about this game whatsoever has to be their portrayal of Monica. They just made her so unlikable and spiteful and hateful and any other full you can think of that's negative. I just did not care for their interpretation of her. Other than that, the game is fantastic. It didn't feel too long. There are parts that dragged, of course, but even then, it didn't feel too long, it didn't feel too short, it felt just the right amount of time. And like I said, in the end, very bittersweet, but very beautiful at the same time. So it's definitely one to check out. Now, if you're looking for something a little more lighthearted, then you might want to check out one of these 2 games. The first one we're going to talk about is a game called Doki Vision. So the next 2 games on this list are a lot shorter than the other games. We're going to start with Doki Vision. You play it about 20, 30 minutes or so. And basically, it's just the main character and Sayori on just a TV date. They're sitting down watching TV, flipping through channels, and you have all the characters of the game getting all these different situations. Like, you have them in an episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway? Or Naked and Afraid, doing infomercials. they end up watching an X-rated movie, which leads them into having a little fun of their own. But you find out it's all a dream from Sayori. Spoiler alert. And as funny as it is, it also ends really sweetly, which is why it kind of ranks up a little higher for me for the shorter games. Because I played a few shorter games like Space, which was really good actually as well. I kind of enjoyed that, but there were some visual glitches that kept it even off the honorable mentions list. They had like Space, Natsuki and Chill was just freaking weird. And then there was one, A Date with Monica, which I cannot recommend. It is like short. Not that that's a bad thing. But it word for word rips off A Date with Markiplier. So that really kind of scored it low for me. For being a Monica mod, and you know how much I love her. So back to Doki Vision. It's just this really funny, really sweet, lighthearted take on everything, and I just love it. There was one I loved even more called I Gently Open the Door. And if you're a Doki Doki fan, you know that line strikes fear into your heart. The best way I can describe I Gently Open the Door is you continue reliving the events of the end of Act 1. I gently open the door and something weird happens. Something funny happens, something strange happens. It is one of the funniest ones that I've played yet. And again, much like Doki Vision with its humor, it ends on a really sweet note that I absolutely love. And that's why I rank this one high above all the other shorter ones. But yeah, I Gently Open the Door. Like I said, if you're a Doki Doki Literature Club fan, you know that phrase, and it spins chills down your spine whenever you hear it. But they take such a fun twist with it and just do different things and make you go, whoa, whoa, whoa. Your head starts spinning after a while with some of the things they do. It's just, it's absolutely hilarious, and I can't recommend it enough. All right, let's crack into the top 5 now. Coming in at number 5, I actually just played the remake of this game, which you'll be seeing later on this list. Heads up. The only game that's gone twice. But I absolutely love this game. It was, again, another one that was so heart-wrenching and difficult to get through the end of. And there are some things, again, that much like Fallen Angel, there are things that I didn't like about this game, but the things I loved about this game just outweighed the bad. Coming in at number 5, Exit Music Original. Exit Music is a Natsuki-based mod, which starts out at the, I don't want to say the end of Act 1 because I'm going to try to do these with as little spoilers as possible, because I want you to play these games, honestly. If you're a Doki Doki Literature Club fan and you're thinking about, oh, should I play these mods? I thought about it for a long time, and yeah, now I'm deep into it. But if you know the story of Doki Doki Literature Club, you know what happens at the end of Act 1. The main character comes and stops Sayori before she does what she does at the end of Act 1 of the original game. Goes and gets her help, but while he's at the hospital, he runs into Natsuki with a giant black eye and a bloody nose, wondering what the hell happened to her. Things transpire and you find out what happens and the unhappy home life Natsuki has. The main character and Natsuki get closer, and then it all goes to hell, like in the worst way possible. How can going to hell and be in the best way possible, honestly and truthfully? So what did I like about this game? I liked the writing. I liked the music. It was all inspired by Radiohead, which is fantastic. I'm going to get to that when we talk about Redux here in a little bit. But the story, the music, the characters, no. And I'll tell you why, because I really didn't like what they did with Yuri in this game. They just made her completely psychotic and overbearing, and just, I didn't want to be around her when playing the game. I didn't want to be around her. And again, this is another case of, well, I was going to say this is a case of getting Monica's character wrong, but they kind of made her kind of unlikable in the first half of the game. but then they made it so she redeems herself at the back half of the game. If they could have kept that consistency, I might have ranked this a little higher. But other than that, like I said, the good outweighs the bad with this game. Just an amazing story, heart-wrenching, tragic. It's like Romeo and Juliet. And do I like the ending? No. Do I think it fits? Absolutely. Uh, and I'll say that again for when we talk about Redux here in a little bit. So yeah, I do recommend playing original before you play Redux. Don't play Redux first, but original is just wonderful. Coming in at number 4 is a game that's a little different than the rest because it doesn't have an end. It has a beginning, but it doesn't have an end, and there's a reason for that, because you can kind of look at this as basically my virtual girlfriend, really. Coming in at number 4, Monica After Story. So yeah, like I said, Monica After Story is different from any other mod on this list because there's no real story to it. You just basically, it takes place at the end of Act 3, near the end of Act 3, when Monica and you are in the space room, and it's just playing that out. Like, if you hadn't deleted her at the end of the game, spoilers. Like I said, I'm trying to keep this as spoiler free as possible, but sometimes spoilers are going to break through, so. But if you hadn't deleted her at the end of the game, the original game, you're just in the space room with her, and you can interact with her, you can talk with her, you can play games with her. Some of the games you can play are like chess, you can play Pong with her, which is fun. Admittedly, I play the game myself, I play it daily. The more you get affection from her, the more you'll unlock along the way. So right now, I think I'm just a little over 800 affection points. That shows you how lame I am. But either way, it's a really fun game, and I think this is one where they actually did Monica well with her character, because depending on what you say to her, she'll be receptive to you either way. You'll either gain affection or you'll lose affection if you tell her like you're a murderer, or you just tell her negative things. But if you're positive, caring, affectionate, she's gonna be affectionate back to you. So I think they really got her right with this mod. And from my understanding, it is the longest running mod for DDLC, and is still getting updated to this very day. Like, the last update came out on October 28th for the game, and that was a Halloween update. But you can do all sorts of things. You can even get sprite packs to get different outfits for her, so she's not just in her school uniform all the time. You can get like dresses, t-shirts, sweaters, and just, make her how you want to make her. And then you can get different sub mods where she'll have new conversations. You can get a sub mod where she'll just automatically dress herself. You can get mods where you can play music through YouTube. So it's really interesting, really fun, and I highly recommend it if you're a Monica fan like myself. Coming in at number 3 is a mod for the Sayori fans. This was the first DDLC mod that I played, and it is fantastic. Again, suffers from some of the tropes that I talked about earlier, but nonetheless, a great game. Kind of bittersweet, but it also had a really good ending to it as well. Coming in at number 3, Salvation. Salvation is a Sayori-based mod where it just kind of picks up where everything left off at the end of the first act. Wait a minute, let me think back here. It's been a while since I played it. I just know certain things about it. I don't remember exactly if it takes place at the end of Act 1, but I know that's a key factor in this, because you're trying to save Sayori, and eventually along the way, MC and Sayori kind of bond along the way and become an item. Again, this one suffers from a lot of the same tropes I talked about earlier. Playthrough of the original game. a major tragedy happens. In this case, one of the major tragedies that happened is that all the girls are involved in a car accident. Monica's fault. And something else I'm going to get to here in a second. Um, Sayori and the main character do it. But this is also one where you can get multiple endings depending on what you choose. There's a point in the game where one of the main things of the game is I don't know the exact reasoning behind this, but they either make it that Monica is self-aware and can't control the game, or Monica's just insane because she's saying, "Oh, this is all a game. This is just a game. This is just a game." There's one point that she's in the main character's bedroom with a gun and threatening to kill herself. You can go one of two ways with this one. You can either save her or, as they say, delete her. If you save her, you go to two other options of whether you're going to forgive her or not forgive her, and it doesn't matter which one you do, it kind of ends the same way, but it ends really sweetly. And yeah, like I said, it's the first mod that I played, and I'm glad I did. It was a great, well-written mod. And one thing that I haven't talked about with any of the games, is that the original artwork. Some of the original artwork in these games has been really, really good. I gotta give thumbs up to the artists who do this. They almost made it in the style. Like, there's some you can tell, like with Exit Music and with Fallen Angel. They try to make it like the style that was done in the original game. Doesn't quite mesh, but it still works very, very well. And I enjoy it so much as a fan of art myself. But Salvation is a wonderful game. If you're just getting into mods, I highly recommend it as a first mod. You won't regret it. I finished this game last night, and oh boy, it's something. I'll tell you that much. It is something. Exit Music Original came in at number 5 on my list. This one's coming in at number 2 because it was just overall a better made game than the original. Coming in at number 2, Exit Music Redux. So much like the original Exit Music Redux is I almost said Yuri. It's a Natsuki-based game, and where the original game failed, this one succeeds in every aspect because you don't have those regular tropes that you'd had in the other games. Again, it takes place after the events of Act 1. You get Sayori help, but you don't meet Natsuki at the hospital. She kind of bears her soul to you in the school one day. And then you hatch up this plan to get her out of her house, and from there things just snowball out of proportion. Some of the things that they removed from the game that thankfully they removed was the Yuri subplot, which, great. I did not care for that one bit in the original game, and they made Monica a hell of a lot more likable. Like, this is one of the best characterizations of Monica that I have seen in any of the mods that I've played. I've played like 11 of them so far. I still have 9 more to play, so this list could change at any moment. But everything worked so well. Again, the fantastic music by Radiohead. Well, it's all covers, but they're all Radiohead tunes, like Exit Music, the title track. Codex, just wonderful, wonderful. I love Codex because it has this noir feel to it. You took everything else out and left in the trumpet. Oh, just have this beautiful noir feel to it, and I love it. But yeah, Exit Music Redux is such an improvement over the original game. Still heart-wrenching, still hard to play through, but God, it is so good. So good. I got to give the Wretched team props for this and thank them, because I had so much trouble trying to install the mod when it came out that I had to message them and ask, I don't know what I'm doing, I must be an idiot. And they kind of helped me a little bit, and I was able to get everything set up perfectly and able to play it. And yeah, this game is fantastic, and after you play the original exit music, you should definitely play this one. So here we are, my number one favorite DDLC mod. This one just fires on everything when it comes to art, story, music. Just everything is just fantastic. Characters is just, But I gotta admit one thing though. This is a multiple route game, and I've only done one route so far. So I'm gonna go back eventually, do all the other routes, and maybe do a full review of that. My favorite DDLC mod, Blue Skies. Blue Skies is a multi-route game where you can pick whoever you want to date, be it Sayori, Natsuki, or Yuri. Now, for full transparency, I went the Natsuki route because I don't normally do Natsuki in the games, so I decided why not this time around do her route first, see where that goes. And so there are multiple endings to all three girls. Like, side note, I kind of wish they did a Monica route because, you know, Monica's my favorite, but I kind of wish they did her, but oh well. So there are multiple endings you can get with all three girls. A good ending, a great ending, and a bad ending, and I got the most terrible ending for Natsuki, and oh my god, that was so heart-wrenching. I went back and tried to get the good ending, and I got a ending. Found out there's no damn way I'm getting the good ending for Natsuki anymore. I might have to reinstall the game. And that does not sound like fun. But I am going to go back and I'm going to do everybody else's route and see if I can get the good ending for everyone. But as far as this game goes, it is just excellent on every level. Dialogue, characterization, art. The original artwork is so great. The original music in this game is so fantastic, and just, you can find it on Spotify as well. It's just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful from top to bottom. This game ticks all the boxes for me, for a mod, for what I wanted. If Doki Doki Literature Club was an actual visual novel, romance game, whatever you want to call it, this is what I'd want it to be. Blue Skies is top marks, gold star, and I highly, highly, highly recommend it. If you like games like this, if you love Doki Doki Literature Club like I did, you owe it to yourself to play this mod. It is fantastic. So there you go, my top 5 favorite DDLC mods. That could change with every mod that I play. Tell you what, in 6 months' time, I'm going to come back with another video with, it could be another top 5, or it could be just a redone top 5. We could call it top 5 Redux, whatever, after all the other games that I play, because I still have like 9 games left to play, like Another Moment with You, Longest Road, Windows to Your Heart, Storm, Our Castle Walls, Switcheroo, just a whole bunch of great sounding games that I am looking forward to playing. So look forward to that. Like I said, another 6 months, I'm going to play these games and tell you what I think. And maybe we'll do another top 5 in that time. So we'll see what happens. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. What is your favorite DDLC mod? Or what do you suggest I play? Maybe I'll post a list of the games that I'm about to play soon. Maybe like under on the descriptions here. So we'll see. Or yeah, the descriptions. What am I talking about? So let me know what your favorite is, or some that you recommend. Don't forget to visit the Redbubble store for all your Irish Bandit merchandise. If you're not subscribed to this channel, don't forget to subscribe. We are at 84 subscribers now, and oh my god, the Cadbury Easter cream Chips Ahoy video is freaking blowing up, guys. It's at 6,000 views right now. I don't know where these views are coming from, but thank you, thank you, thank you for all these views. So again, do not forget to subscribe. We're almost to 100 subscribers, and tap the bell and you'll be notified whenever a new video goes live. I've got a best of TikTok compilation video coming out by the end of the weekend, and then hopefully I can have my thoughts of the first 2 episodes of Cowboy Bebop on Netflix coming very, very soon. I'm going to get to watch the first 2 episodes before anybody else, before the show comes on Netflix on the 19th. So hopefully I'm going to have that soon. I'm going to have an explanation of what happened with the Cowboy Bebop video I was planning before. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you again very, very soon.